Angie.
Pet trains.
Can you believe there's literally 2 weeks of this year left?
I mean, no.
In the box that I put up yesterday for the content, somebody just put, if anyone asks me, are you ready for Christmas again? ...
True.
Did you get distracted by something then? You just looked away.
No.
No. No. That's all it said in the box. If anyone asks me, are you ready for Christmas? ... I am getting to the point where I'm going to lose my shit. Because no, I'm not ready, Barbara.
No.
I haven't done anything, Barbara.
Do you think there are a lot of people, though, that are? Like,
oh, so many.
Yeah.
So many people, I think, are ready for Christmas.
I feel like I'm I feel like if I was to put this in a percentage, I'd say I'm possibly about 50%.
Oh, God, I'm like 20%.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm,
How many more presents have you got to buy?
I think probably, maybe like 6. 5, 6, something like that.
I've got way more than 5, 6 to buy.
Have you?
Yeah.
I actually think, though, I think because a lot of Ian's family, they're all the kids are like older now, and there's a cutoff. We're like 21, that's it. You're not getting any more.
I don't ever want to do a cutoff.
Oh, I mean, mate, you crack on with the,
I don't want to do it, and I wonder whether it's because I don't have kids myself. Myself. Why do people say that? Myself.
Look after yourself.
But also, I've only got, like, it's not like, Ian, you've got 20 million.
That's the thing. It's like,
whereas I've only got 5.
Yeah.
Joel's going to be 50 and still getting a pair of joggers from me for Christmas.
Well, you might not be here by then.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, because then that'd take you to... Oh, no, you might be.
Yeah, 80.
Take you to sort of 75.
75, 80, yeah, I'd still be here.
Actually, yeah. Let's hope so.
Let's hope. God willing.
God willing.
But, I'm not ready for Christmas at all, really. I'm a bit over Christmas, to be honest.
Pat.
I know, and I used to absolutely love it, and I'm a bit like... I don't know.
But I don't think you're over it. I think you just haven't quite gotten into it yet.
Yeah, maybe.
I think what's happened here is, as you're getting older, your requirement for Christmas is becoming a shorter window of time.
Yes.
So, like 9th of December, you're like, bloody hell, mate, we still got another 2.5 weeks before it's going to be here.
It's not
the week before. Bosh,
Christmas.
Bang, in it. I'm getting pissed every night. I saw a funny, a very
British problem.
Now, I think you may have brought this last Christmas, and this is a sort of continuation.
Okay.
So it says, it's the time of year for incredibly bleak round-robin letters from distant family.
They're brilliant.
It's good to be writing to you after an interesting year. Sharon failed her driving exam for the 3rd time. Tom's divorce looks like it'll be finalised soon, but it's dragging on. My hip still isn't right after the fall, but haven't managed to book an appointment with the doctor. The roof fell off the house, so the carpet's getting wet when it rains, which isn't ideal. The cat finally died. I think I mentioned he was in the letter last Christmas. John continues to get old. Anyway, Merry Christmas. But then they've done another one.
Okay.
So that was like the bleak round robin that you get, where literally someone's just sending you a letter to tell you how shit their year's been.
Yeah.
And then it says, still, I prefer the bleak ones to the smug ones. So they're saying, I prefer the bleak, where it's like, this is being shit, everything's shit, the cat's dead, John's nearly dead.
Yeah.
Someone failed their driving test. So they say, I prefer the bleak ones to the smug ones. Here's a smug one. Where to start? The heating in the pool packed up, but luckily we were in Tuscany for that month, so didn't suffer too much. Tiger Lily decided to carry on her gap year in the Maldives for a second year, while Labyrinth received 18 A stars in his A-levels and plans to be Prime Minister, so we've installed another Aga in his main bedroom to celebrate. David, who is made entirely of Le Creuset, received another promotion and spends most of his spare time talking to builders about the extra house we're having fitted to our house, so never a dull day. We hope this letter finds you well. Merry Christmas from Barbados. Which is just, I mean,
That-
who still sends those?
Round robin letters need to get in the bin.
In the bin.
In the bin. I also love the fact that in the smug one there was someone called Labyrinth.
Yeah. Tiger Lily and Labyrinth. Labyrinth received 18 A stars.
So we've put another Aga in his bedroom.
And David, who is made entirely of Le Creuset.
That is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, those round robin letters. What would you put in yours? Would yours be a depressed one? I'd try and write a smug one. I would really try and write a smug one.
But I don't think I'd have a huge amount to smug about.
We spent 10 days holidaying in the south of Spain in a beautiful apartment, which was absolutely lovely for all of us. Margaret did shit herself 3 times.
And Patty had a fall.
Talking of having a fall, Max and I had a really good conversation at the blend.
The blend, yeah.
Obviously, you know, like the thing where people say, at what age do you fall over and start having a fall? Yeah. I said to him, "Oh, look at Nana, doesn't she look really cute?" And he said, "At what age is it okay to call people cute again?" Because you wouldn't say, if Margs was only in her 30s, you wouldn't say, "Oh, look at Margs, she looks really cute."
No.
So what age is it okay? I said, I think between 65 and 70.
I would say over 70s can be cute again.
Yes.
If someone was going to say, like, "Oh, Pats is really blank," like, because I wouldn't want someone. I don't think I'd want someone calling me cute.
I'd want sexy. Pats is really sexy.
Pats is really sexy.
Pats is sexy vibes. Yeah. Cute. I think between 65 and 70. I think
I'd say a generic over 70s.
Over 70s, not 65.
No, because I think that's still quite young.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm only like 16 years off 65, which I know is still a long time, but it's actually not that long.
Yeah. And so you want it to be pushed to 70 for those reasons.
Yeah, let's push
Whereas
that
I'm
to
in
70.
my 40s, so I'll be like, well, 65, that's fine. That's over 20
ancient.
years. 20 years off for me, over 20 years off.
Yeah, whereas I'm not. I'm like the other side of that. So
you're thinking, oh, actually,
I don't want to be referred to as being cute when I'm in my 60s.
Fine. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Very muff. I wanted to share a message we received, and we also had, do you remember in last week's episode, we did the urban, which was
Sweetie Wife.
We had a message in from our one listener in the Scottish Highlands.
Oh, great. Snedders.
Who gave us a little update on Sweetie Wife.
Yep, it is true. We do call people like that sweetie wives. My favourite, though, is nippy sweetie, which is what we also call someone, you know, when you walk in a room and someone's just got, woman has got a face like Fizz and is basically a Karen and would kind of have your head off and just does not look very friendly at all. We call her a nippy sweetie. So there you go.
A nippy sweetie.
Also, when she said, "I got a face like Fizz," I've never heard of that phrase before.
Face like a smacked arse.
Yeah,
face
but that's
like
obviously another Scottish thing, isn't it? You've got a face like Fizz.
Your Scottish accent is terrible.
I get really annoyed that I can't do a Scottish.
Scottish is really hard. It is really hard.
It is.
Yeah, it's a very, very hard lilt to get. It's really hard to keep going. Other than just saying things like, "You're Scottish."
Okay, the new.
You can do a good Lewis Capaldi if you're really going in strong. You can't do a gentle Scottish accent. You have to really like shout.
It's got to be quite aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Hasn't it, Patty? Yeah, I can do it like that.
No, you can't keep it going. You can do a short burst of it.
I can do a short burst of it.
No, terrible. Also, I feel like we should say sorry to anyone who's listening who's called Karen, because Karens do get a real bad rep, don't they?
I'm saying absolutely nothing on that. Oh shit! Sorry, it's done that thing again. It's done that thing again.
It's done that thing again.
Right, and then we had. I just wanted to. We had a really great message in, from Mandy Delp.
Mandy Delp, yeah, we've had stuff from Mandy before.
Mandy, yes, she is an avid. She's a real OG. Is Mandy Delp. So she sent a message. She just said, "Absolute hilarity. Please count me as one of the 4 listeners. You are painfully funny, and it is levity, bullshit, and everything in between. Never stop. The way you two laugh is more contagious than COVID, swine flu, and chicken pox combined. Thank you." I just thought that was such a great
message.
Many thanks, Mandy Delp, for listening.
So if we're going back to things from last week,
yeah,
one of our listeners, Mrs. Lindsay Elizabeth Taylor, knows one of the sommeliers at the Savoy.
Oh, darling. Sommelier at Savoy. Yeah.
So she got in touch with one of the sommeliers at the Savoy and said, "Could you help us out?
Yeah.
When somebody sends wine back, is it to see if it's corked? When somebody tastes the wine, is it to see if it's corked, if they like it, or both?"
Yeah.
And he messaged back,
"Yeah.
Good afternoon. The only reason you taste a wine is to see if it is faulty."
Oh, so it doesn't really matter if you don't like it.
But I suppose you could taste it and say that tastes
faulty.
Corked. If you don't like it, you would just go, "Oh no, that's corked. It's definitely corked. I'd like to send that back, please. Why there? Can I actually order a different one?"
I changed my mind
because I actually also don't. No, but it's only to see if it's faulty. That is what your sommeliers, your big shit dog sommeliers are saying.
Especially at the Savoy,
Savoy, they'll know.
But what about though? If you just went, sorry, I've just tried that actually, and it is faulty. It's corked. That. Surely your sommelier, he's going to then try it and go, "Well, actually, you're wrong, and I'm a sommelier."
Anyway, I just wanted to... And I'm a sommelier bastard.
Actually, you're wrong, and I'm a sommelier. Things that shouldn't be embarrassing, but are. Things that shouldn't be embarrassing. Things that shouldn't be embarrassing, but are. What are your things?
Right, well, we had a Justin, also known as Things That Shouldn't Be Embarrassing But Are,
Toots Bieber,
from Rachel on the gram.
Yeah.
And Rachel put, "Things that shouldn't be embarrassing but are climbing out of the swimming pool." That is true. When you have to get out of a pool, whether it's via steps or you just push yourself up to get... If you're in a public swimming pool and it's time for you to get out, I don't know why, but that is embarrassing.
That really
embarrassing. Especially if you have to do it on those narrow silver steps. Now, do you remember? Do you remember? I don't know if we actually talked about this at the time. I reckon we probably did, but it was years ago. So let's revisit it.
It was COVID times, wasn't it?
We were in COVID times. Well, the restrictions had been slightly lifted because we'd gone away.
Yeah.
But it's when you could go away with your bubble. Hotels were open because we were staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
And there was a sort of a makeshift pool, wasn't there, at this hotel, because they were having their spa done. So they'd put this makeshift pool together.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in and then couldn't get out. I was stuck
Honestly,
on
it
the
was
steps.
I honestly thought you were going to break the steps.
Me too.
I thought this whole pool's going to just disintegrate.
Yeah.
We're going to fly out of this water.
It's going to collapse around us.
It's going to go everywhere.
Yeah.
But in the end, obviously that didn't happen, thankfully.
No.
But to get out, you basically had to go up on that first step and then use your knee to get you up, to like lift you up over the lip. And then literally crawl on your hands and knees to get to a position where you could then stand up.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
Hilarious. But getting out of a swimming pool, so when I go swimming at the gym, we've got either the metal steps or like a bigger area of steps that is the ones that I use. So it's like a
gradual step down into the pool.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got a bar there to hold and everything, but it's not the narrow steps.
Yeah.
Even getting out of that, I feel so embarrassed. Especially because at our pool, the jacuzzi is like directly opposite those graduated steps.
So people can just sit there and watch you.
Yeah. So you get, and you're like, oh, do I make eye contact? Oh, John's been in the jacuzzi for like 20 minutes. As I come out, do I smile at him? Do I not? Do I? Oh, yeah. This is, and it just feels so embarrassing.
It is.
And I don't understand why.
I think the main embarrassment with this, because I'm okay with using the metal steps up and down. It's if I have to get, I'm okay with that. I don't find that too bad. What,
hoiking yourself up?
Yeah, I can do a hoik up, fairly easily.
Right.
But if I have to try and get out of the pool side,
no steps.
So it's that
is embarrassing.
That is the worst, because you just, I just can't do it.
No.
I haven't got enough upper body.
No.
So I'm trying to push myself up, and then you get enough purchase. Great word. You get enough purchase that you can swing a leg round, get your leg out onto the side, and then sort of have to almost do a roll out.
Yeah.
Roll yourself out, and then you can get to a standing position. But I also think that's the same if you're getting in. Like sometimes I've got into our pool not using any steps, be they silver steps on the side or a gradual step. We don't actually.
Would you not just jump in? Oh, I suppose you can't.
Because they're all pros swimming in lanes and shit. Yeah. You've got to get into your lane without.
Even that's embarrassing. Even that's embarrassing. Going under the lane, and then going under again. That is embarrassing. Actually,
I like to do a roll over. I don't go under. I just roll over the top.
You go over the top.
It's quite fun, but also can be quite embarrassing.
Hang on. Given the choice to join a lane swimming, you're going over the top.
I like to roll over those rolly bits of the thing.
Yeah. That is crazy. Hang on. So you get in your pool. Sandra's swimming in a lane. Keith's swimming in a lane, and you're like, I'm going third lane. I need to get to that lane. There's nobody in the third lane. I'm getting in it.
That's Ange's.
Most people are doing a duck dive under.
I know. I like rolling over.
You roll over the top.
Yeah, sort of like, because the things that they separate. Yeah. They spin the little plastic things. So I sort of roll my body over them.
That is a joke.
Over and in.
That is a joke.
But it's happened to me twice, which is probably why I shouldn't do it. Is because it dislodges the connection, and then the lane's gone. Which again, quite embarrassing, quite funny.
I mean, not funny, not funny, just embarrassing.
But yeah, that is the whole pool etiquette in and out is
very funny. When you were talking about swinging your leg over, I actually started to think about the word that we've talked about, your gunt. You've got to try and get your gunt over the lip, haven't you? And it reminded me that we had a great email in from Francesca.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
So I'm going to just read it. Hello, Ruth and Ange. Adore your podcast and look forward to Wednesday mornings on my way to work so I can listen and laugh at the same time. This is such a small thing and it probably doesn't merit an email, but following on from your chat about gunts and fupas, I mentioned these words to my friend to see if she knew what I meant. She didn't, but she particularly liked the word gunt. She has now been known to ask me in moments of indecisiveness or doubt, Francesca, what does your gunt tell you? It made me giggle and I wanted to share. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to
That
stop
is
talking about your gut. What's your
gut.
gunt feeling?
What is your gunt saying to you? Yeah.
Have,
That is so good.
have you got a feeling in your gunt about this, Angie?
Have you got a feeling in your gunt loins?
I just thought that was, and as you were talking about getting out of the pool, I thought,
Yeah.
well, one of the things I have to do is flip my gunt over. And I remembered the question.
Francesca's email.
What's going on in your gunt?
But
yeah,
how's your
very,
gunt feeling?
very good, Rachel. Getting out of the swimming pool shouldn't be embarrassing, but it definitely is.
It definitely is. Yeah, very good.
We had a dickish behaviour in from Naomi, and
Right.
I thought this actually follows on a little bit from your smug.
Oh, you smug round robins.
Dickish behaviour. People showing off about their kids. He's bored at school. They're not stretching him enough. Dickish. Right. This is the amount of parents that he's being naughty at school. He's taking the things apart. He took the computer apart last week because they're not stretching Labyrinth. Labyrinth is just into everything, and you don't tell him off, so he thinks he can take the computer apart at school, and your response to the teachers is, well, he's too clever. He's way too bright.
You're not stretching him. You need to stretch him.
Talking of this, I remember my mother-in-law telling me once that one of Matthew's school friends, when they did their 11+, because it was 12+, we are in an area where you do 12+. When the results came out, one of Matthew's mum's friends said to Jill, "Well, I just can't believe that he's going to the same school as Matthew, and that they're both going to be at a comprehensive. That is just there must be something wrong with it, because there is no way Sam and Matthew should be going to the same school."
Bloody hell!
And that's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
He's bored. They're not stretching him. Last week I had to go in to see the teacher because, he had punched somebody in the face. And obviously I said that was wrong. But I did make it very clear the reason that he's going around punching people is because he's not stretched. I mean, that is dickish, isn't it?
It's like those parents whose kids' shit don't stink.
Oh, exactly
they are,
the same.
Everyone else is like, that Peter is an absolute shit. He is a shit of a child. He's always getting in trouble. He's always doing stuff at school to my Alicia, and he is a shit. And you meet the mum, and it's like the sun shines out of his backside. Yeah, Peter. Yeah, I took him out the other day to the park, and he on the swings. He did kick a child, but it wasn't his fault. It was the child's fault. The child got in the way of Peter on the swing. It's like, no, Susan. Peter is a shit.
Yeah, it's also like when you then meet them as adults. That is also an interesting time, isn't it? Because you meet Peter in the office and you think, oh, your mum would rock up to school and say you weren't being stretched enough. You
are one of those children. Yeah, and now you're also one of those adults.
Yeah. But I thought that was a good dickish. People showing off about their kid. He's bored at school. They're not stretching him enough. I mean, get a life. So we had a dilemma. I decided last night to put up an anonymous box. We haven't done a dilemma for a while. By the way, we had loads. We had absolutely
Well, so keep them for the back catalogue.
We will definitely. The other thing that I put up was I just wanted to acknowledge that I know that this year is really tough. This time of year is really tough for lots of people, and I think we can get swept into. It's really happy for everybody. And I put up a box that just asked people things that were tough, and there were loads and loads of stuff that people were talking about that's really missing family members, not having children, having children that are grown up now and are not with them on Christmas Day or with their kind of partner's family, all the way through to things like being single and being on your own, and I just think it's really easy to forget how difficult and lonely this time of year can be for people. So I just thought it was important to acknowledge that we, as much as I can't understand what that feels like, I know that it's really painful and really difficult.
Totally. Yeah.
But we had a dilemma that came in. This is completely anonymous. I don't even know who sent it, but it says, my estranged father found out that I have a child who's nearly 3 and is trying for a relationship. I don't personally want or think I have anything to gain from it, but I wonder if I'm doing my son a disservice. He has 3 other loving grandparents who he sees often, though.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's a really difficult one, that, isn't it?
Mm.
Because I think he's still... I've read this a few times and I've thought, like, what if I put myself in this position, what would I do? Or what advice would I give? You know, say this was you and it was one of your children, what advice would I, you know, if we were estranged from our dad and then he wanted a relationship, what sort of advice would... So there's a couple of things for me. Your son is only nearly 3, so he would remember having, you know, if you started a relationship with his grandparent now, he won't remember before this, but he would remember this moving forward. So in terms of his development, he would remember. I think the question I would ask this person is, what are you going to tell him if he asks you in years to come, why didn't I see that grandparent? What are going to be your reasons?
What's your response?
And do you think your relationship with your dad, the difficulties that are in it, are big enough to stop your 3-year-old son being able to form a meaningful relationship with his granddad? And I think if you can make peace with it in your mind, that when your son asks you that when he's an adult, why didn't I see that grandparent, or did that grandparent ever want to have a relationship with me? Because that could be a question that comes up, and you're likely going to have to say, well, yes, they did, but these are the reasons. If you can make enough peace with that, and you think that you can, because the only person you've got to answer to is him.
Yes.
You don't have to answer to your dad.
No.
This is about him. This is about whether you think a relationship between him and his granddad is important. So I was just sort of thinking about, what are you going to say to him as he becomes an adult? What reasons are you going to give him as to why he didn't have a relationship with you?
I mean, I think my first thought in answer to her question, or her kind of dilemma, was I would say, I think it is important for her son to have a relationship with her dad, because, you know, whatever it is that has caused their relationship to break down isn't actually anything for his relationship not to have, for her son not to have a relationship. And I think sometimes, you know, as a parent, you do have to sort of go, do you know what, I have to take my own, and I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do, and obviously we don't know what has caused that relationship to break down, but I just feel like whatever's happened between them is nothing to do with her son, and actually to allow that relationship to happen. And look, children are very good at working people out and situations out, and even though he's quite young, who's to say, you know, when he gets to, you know, 7, 8, 9, 15, whatever it is, he will make his own mind up about his grandfather. It might be that actually the way that relationship plays out, is not a particularly important relationship, but at least he has the opportunity to make those decisions for himself. And I think as a parent, it's important to allow that to happen, regardless of how you feel about that person, because and if anything, I mean, it might be the start of you being able to repair your relationship as well. And you know, it is, you know, I'm fortunate that I've never been in that position, that I've never had to kind of make those difficult decisions as far as that goes. But I think my first thought was, if you can, try and put your own feelings to one side and allow that relationship to happen. And who knows, It might be the best thing that happens for your dad, for your son, for you. There might be some good that comes out of that. And it might not. It might actually just be that relationship is always going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But I just think it's, if you can, I think it's an important thing that you do for your son, is to allow that relationship to happen and just be there for whatever that looks like as the years go by. But I totally hear that that's a really hard thing to do. And I think as questions, like you've said, Pat, it's about like being able to answer the questions that are going to potentially come as your son gets older, and things that might arise. It's about how you are able to kind of answer those questions and do
I
the
think
right
if you can really make your peace with the fact that you think as he becomes an adult, you could sit down with him and say, well, these are the reasons why you didn't see him, and you think that is formulated enough in a way that perhaps he will understand that, then but don't blindly say no without thinking through the ramifications of the relationship with your son as he grows up and asks those difficult questions. Because I think one of the biggest things about parenting is that you have got to just be able to answer those questions that your children ask you. If there's a part of their family that is shrouded in secrecy, or is not visible, or you're estranged from, or you have just got to be able to say, when they come to you and ask those difficult questions, why wasn't I allowed to do that? These are my reasons. And if you can make your peace with that enough that you don't think it's going to affect your relationship with your son as he grows up, then as his mum at the moment, that is your choice. You are the adult and that is your choice. But I think you're right, Ange, that it has to be about him, doesn't it? And if there is a way that he can have a relationship with that grandparent that is safe and could be meaningful for him, that is a piece of his identity that is incredibly important.
Totally.
So I would say if you can do it, and if you can make that relationship start to build and become something, then go for it. If you don't feel you can, you've got to have a really good reason for him as he grows up.
Totally. Yeah, completely agree with you, Pats. And look, whoever you are, we really hope that you're able to reach a decision that's right, both for you and for your son. Definitely. However that looks. But thank you for sharing that with us, and hope that we've been able to help in some small way.
Absolutely. Okay, well, another episode in the bag.
Now, Pats, we probably should just say about the old FTF
awards,
Finding the Funny Awards 2024.
They will be up over the weekend. Keep a lookout.
Put your votes in.
They'll be up Saturday, Sunday. Ange and I are in the process of collating the best bits, and your ability to vote will be up Saturday, Sunday.
So get voting.
Right, there's loads of ways you can get in touch with us. You can find us both on Instagram. I'm at Ruth_Corden. Ange is at Ange Corden.
You can find the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search Finding the Funny Podcast.
Or you can send us an email, findingthefunnypodcast@gmail.com. But Ange and I will be back next week helping you to find more of the funny. Finding the funny.